Going live in 3, 2. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. We've got a really, really alarming kind of set of developments that have been going on. We're going to talk about that. First off, we're going to get right into it. Russia and Belarus launched this big, absolutely massive Zapad 25 exercise. This is a military exercise, they say, and again, military exercises have ended up being the real thing in previous history. It says they intended to showcase close defense ties between Moscow and Minsk, as well as Russia military might as it fights its 3.5-year war in neighboring Ukraine. Russia and Belarus on Friday launched the long-planned joint military exercise involving thousands of troops. Now, keep in mind, 40,000 Polish troops have loaded up on the border. You, of course, have multiple countries essentially teaming up to put air defenses in right now. You have the event where Poland has shot down Russian drones, and now there's even a claim that those drones came straight from Russia through Ukraine, not just going through their property to go to Ukraine, but actually shot from or shot through Ukraine to actually hit Poland. Now, whether that's true or not, well, I don't think we'll ever know half of the stuff at this level if it's true or not, but again, that is what the claim is, and that is a huge deal because that is what got the Article 4 invoked, which is, of course, something we're going to talk about later as far as part of the response and what is going on right now as far as the actions being taken. So, and if you don't know, and if you're new here, my opinion is that we are at the cusp of a massive, massive war. And all of these countries are connected. It's all connected, including quite possibly these events that have just transpired in the last 2 days. So we'll go over that here in a second. I do, of course, want to first recommend, make sure to go over and check out marfooglenews.com/EMP. If we do get any kind of attack here in the U.S., the most likely in my mind would be, of course, an EMP. Knocking out our grid would knock down the foundation of everything. If you want to protect your cars, trucks, motorcycles, boats, generators, home, ham radios, and even Starlink devices they now have protection for, you can go with the same technology and the same company that protects agencies like DHS, DOD, DOW now, of course, and then, of course, FBI, military branches, many, many more. Again, you can go look at the list. These are Keystone military tested devices. Again, go over to marfooglenews.com/EMP and make sure to use that code MARF. You'll get $50 off per device, and you will help our independent channel at the same time. We don't have a multi-channel network. We don't have anybody protecting us except for you. So we appreciate your support mostly. So we definitely appreciate you sharing our stuff and getting us out there. All right. Let's bring in my co-internet brother, Dex James. What is going on, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I am doing just fine.
So in a second here, we're going to talk about the surge of Civil War chatter. Of course, we're going to talk about this. This is a huge deal. And as far as this piece, the majority of what we are talking about here is a piece at the end. So Dex, do you want to talk about this piece by Tyler Durden and why this is important and why we added this in?
Well, yeah, I'm sure everybody has heard by now, unless you just woke up and you're watching our show for the first time and haven't looked at any media, that they have actually arrested and detained and captured Tyler Robinson, is his name. He is the person responsible for the Charlie Kirk incident that went down in Utah. He was held up at his parents' house. I think eventually confessed somewhat to his parents and his dad. Allegedly, the story goes, is his dad, worked with a family friend or someone else to turn him in to the marshals over that, and do it in a way that wouldn't cause a lot of commotion and have any more, I guess, negative or violent type activity happening in the public, right? Not necessarily from him, but I know a lot of people don't like this guy right now. He's enemy number one for a lot of people out there. That tweet we were just showing you is the arrest report that came out. We're not going to read through it because it's very, very detailed, but it is on our website. So if you want to see it, I would recommend that what you take a look at is how detailed they mapped out for this arrest warrant, of the steps he took, where he went, what he did, everything throughout the school, from changing clothes to coordinating with people on Discord and other things to get to and execute that plan of his and get away or get out. Apparently, he lives like 3 hours away from the location in southern Utah, southern east or southwest Utah. I can't remember what they said, but very detailed. So if you want to see that, go check that out.
Now, and again, my earphones cut out there for a second. I just wanted to make sure we got to this part at the bottom, and you did cover that. So Sean Hannity.
No, I did not.
So
let's talk about the article.
Sean Hannity and John Solomon reported last night that there could be a foreign component to the assassination of Kirk, right? Wow, that's like such a big surprise to our community, right? We just didn't see that a million miles coming. And I told you the first night, when it happened, that night we did a show, and I said, I am just blown away. I was listening to Spaces all day. And the next day, I could not believe that no one was mentioning that this could be a foreign op. Everybody was focused, and this is the zeitgeist, right? You've got the Twitter Spaces where they're doing all of the free, speech debates. I mean, it really is a good place for people to go to talk about stuff, and no one's talking about this. Everybody was talking about the angle that, again, most of us knew kind of was a funky angle, right? It's sort of the narrative that's already being pushed. As far as it was going to pit one side against the other side, it was going to have this person most likely line up with something, especially with what Kirk was talking about at the time of when he was taken out, right? So here's the thing: whether you like Kirk or you did like Kirk or you didn't like Kirk, the point is that this is something that you should really pay attention to, whether your views lined up or not. You should understand when you're getting manipulated. And if you're manipulated, if there's some sort of foreign manipulation here, then this is something that is a massive, massive flag for what is to come. That's why we say, like, this is very, very much possibly all connected. I mean, we're talking about this event alongside all of this war stuff that is happening at the same time. We have multiple countries that are lining up for a massive war. Dex, go ahead.
Well, and it's interesting because it's like now the narrative, at least from the authorities, is, oh, he acted alone. There is no one else. There's nothing, international here. You've even got, what was it, Netanyahu coming out and making his own statement. Like, he actually addressed this. He said, oh, I had absolutely nothing to do with it. Like, why would he have to make that kind of statement? But nonetheless, like, for anyone to make that statement, if a foreign country was going to act, or if a foreign country was going to pay for or create organizations that churn out people like this, they do it so they can have plausible deniability. They do it in a way that it's not obvious that it's them, and they can't point the finger or connect perfect dots right back to them. So whether it's, China or Venezuela or anybody for that matter, I don't know who it is, and I don't know that any foreign government is actually involved in this. But to say they aren't, I think, is very difficult to just outright say it's impossible. And it's funny that some people are trying to say that now, and completely dismiss it. So he did work with one of those groups that, had the Summer of Love and created all sorts of chaos throughout our country. He was active in those organizations. They were all over Discord. Discord is getting a lot of flack right now because a lot of the police had reported that they had to take screenshots of information of all the conversations he was having on there, and including on that platform, telling one of his friends to go pick up the rifle that he had left in the bushes, and telling him, where it was, and that it was wrapped up in a towel and he needed to go grab it for him. So, like, all of this stuff was being coordinated, but they're still saying there's nobody else that they're going to arrest at this point. At least that was one of the press conferences today. But they also said the investigation is ongoing.
So this reminds me of, Netanyahu coming out, and again, most of the time, whether it is huge and all over Twitter, if people think something, that doesn't mean that a president or a prime minister or a leader of a country responds to it. It reminds me, was it Obama that recently like responded to something? Do you remember just in the last couple months, somebody responded to something and they're like, why would he even respond to that? I think it was Obama via Twitter, like says, this is absolutely absurd and the level of these allegations. Because I think it was when the president was talking about
him leading the stuff that Bondi's doing right now.
Yeah. And it was like, why would he even respond? And he even said, like, I normally wouldn't respond. Our office wouldn't respond to this, but we would. And that in itself made this kind of almost look of guilt, right? Well, with this, why did he say anything at all? Why did he respond to it? Maybe they're trying to get ahead of it. And honestly, when you try to get ahead of something like that as a government, that almost seems, worse than not, right?
Exactly.
So that happened as well.
Yeah. And one last quick thing. Erica Kirk, his wife, made official statement today. She spoke live on Turning Point on YouTube. So if you guys want to go see it, she put that out. Didn't put it out. She spoke live. Very emotional. I was impressed that she was strong enough to get through that just 2 days after.
And of course, Erica has spoke many, many times on his behalf for Turning Point and for other agencies where they've gone and spoke. So that was actually a surprise. Not too many people believed that she was going to be able to do that. So again, go check that out. And then, of course, Civil War mentions surge online. These are all so predictable. Like everything that has been happening is so predictable. If you've been doing this or watching this a long time, then you know, like we're watchers. We see these patterns happen and we know what's going to happen before it's going to happen. And it was obvious the first day that there was going to be this chatter of civil conflict. That it was completely and utterly a perfect setup for us to just be pitted up against each other. I mean, so much so within, 6 hours of it happening, I saw AI videos of Charlie walking into God's arms and AI voices of Charlie saying, hey, these are the 3 things that I would do. If I was here, I would tell you, don't weaponize my perishing and don't fight over it. This is what they want you to do and this and this and that. It's like, because everybody saw this. It was very obvious that this is where it was headed, that it's already pissed people off. Greg Gutfeld, I told you the other night, swore on live TV, dropped the F-bomb. He says, you woke us the F up, right? He'd said that because he was saying, like, we're really hard to analyze. And he goes, but you just woke us up. And that's somebody who's an anchor on Fox, stating that, essentially implying that the right side is going to basically start doing what other sides are doing, right? And fighting back. So this is something that, we've watched for a very long time. It's been in predictive programming for a long time. Gosh, I mean, Leave the World Behind was one of the creepiest pieces of predictive programming about Civil War. The Civil War movie was actually surprisingly less so. But, there's been a lot of it. The third term president on Civil War, all of these things, it's been pushing the global kind of mindset towards civil conflict. Dex, go ahead.
Adam, who in history was known for conquering and in the process of doing it, going in before and sowing civil chaos, sowing unrest and civil war so that it was easier when it got there?
That would be the Mongolians. And that would be, again, you're talking about one of the idols of Xi Jinping, right? Why am I blanking on his name? One of the...
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan. Thank you. So Genghis Khan would actually, before he would go into a town or to a village, he was building the Silk Road. And before he would do so, he would send scouts in to basically start rumors and to start, sow distrust between neighbors even, and get everybody fighting to the point where they would literally fight with each other, to where Genghis Khan would come in with his troops and half of the fighting would already be done and they would mop up. This is an example I've used many times. I actually studied Genghis Khan a lot because I found that there's a lot of very, very big similarities, including the Belt and Road Initiative, that Xi is actually taking something straight out of his book. Now, Genghis Khan might not be at the forefront of your thinking right now, but he was somebody who took over more of the planet than anyone else in history to this day. And Genghis Khan is somebody who Mao, previous leaders of China never actually looked up to. In fact, Mao banned things. In fact, Mao banned teachings and different things in China. And in China, Xi's father was actually reprimanded by Mao. So you would think that if Mao, who was against Genghis Khan, was kind of an enemy of their family, you would think that they would go the opposite. So it makes perfect sense. As far as that the trading route and everything that China's doing, they're taking not only notes out of our book, the U.S., by how they act, but they are also taking notes directly out of Genghis Khan's book. They are also, of course, taking notes out of The Art of War by Sun Tzu. I mean, like, this is really, look strong when you are weak and look weak when you are strong. Meanwhile, China is hoarding like they are going to get into the largest war of this century, of this 10 centuries. That is what they are doing right now. So it's no surprise that they're saying that now there may be a foreign element to this. That's what I said since day one. And everybody's saying this country, well, maybe that's the point. Maybe it's meant to look like that country. Maybe look at the country no one is talking about. And I mean no one. Everybody says that. And the other night, even people made fun of it. They're like, oh, are there Chinese snipers? No. This would be done, Dex, as you said, plausible deniability. This would be something completely either manufactured or something that would be done through other means. I mean, they could get this kid to do it by a set of circumstances over 5 years, getting the person to where they need them to be to do an action like this.
I guarantee you the kid uses TikTok. They could program them if they wanted to. I mean, like, there's so many things they could have done. Anybody could do as a foreign actor, and you could talk to any, I'm sure if you were able to speak to any of the, people in those agencies that do that type of work, they would tell you, yeah, we know how to manipulate and get an informant or a person or an asset, as they would call them, to do just about anything we want them to do.
So again, I think it was under 2,000 on all of X mentions of civil war after the event. It's over 210,000 in a matter of 12 hours. So it was, it was posts and replies from July 1st and replies from July 1st. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. September 11th, 2025. July 1st to, oh, okay, I'm sorry. They're just showing you from that. So the graph from July to September. So after September, what day was it? September 9th? It was, or the 10th?
September 10th. It was September 10th.
So the day right before a huge anniversary of course, September 11. And then all of a sudden after that, 210,000 mentions in a 12-hour time period. So yeah, I mean, this is of course the global mindset right now. So we also have to think about how to be positive, have faith, and to try to just keep going and keep prepping. Because honestly, this isn't going away. This is a when, not if, as Pete Hegseth said of their actions in Puerto Rico. All of the countries that are working right now are all working towards a war. And I think that the sooner that people acknowledge that and really accept it, the less afraid they will be. There's a lot of people that are afraid. If you're watching this and you're afraid, it might not be the right place for you. All right, you guys, make sure to join us over on Marfoogle TV. We're going to be covering the rest in full detail. It is going to be a full breakdown of the last 24 hours, and we are going to talk about this, not only the Civil War mentions, but what is actually happening that could lead to this. So make sure to join us over on Marfoogle TV. Again, we will be over there. If you're in the chat, just stay there. You'll be ported over automatically, and your browser will change to the next channel. If you are watching the replay, all you have to do is click here. We'll see you in just a minute. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. I won't be one of those running. They say a civil war's coming. I won't be one of those running. They say a civil war's coming. I won't